or ask a professional, because potentially if there is a really nasty virus, it could survive a reset if it's really sophisticated. So reformatting would probably be the best way to be sure. But if the issue is not a virus and it's just slowing down in general, resetting could be potentially really useful. Just keep in mind you will need to reinstall any programs, which might be kind of a pain. All right, on to number 6. This is another really simple one, thankfully, and that is to disable visual effects. This could potentially make a big difference depending on the power of your computer. The easiest way to get to this is to search the start menu for this, sysdm.cpl. Then in this window that comes up, look in the Advanced tab, and then under Performance, click the Settings button, and then you'll have a few different options. You can optimize for visual quality, but in this case, the one you probably want to select is Adjust for Performance. And this will basically just disable any visual effects in here. Now, you could also ask it to automatically adjust what settings based on the computer's power. It might do a good job, but if you still find that it's slow, maybe try adjusting it for performance, and then if you notice it really speeds up, just keep it on that. Or you could just try randomly disabling some effects and see what makes a difference there. Though just keep in mind, this is probably going to make the biggest difference on lower end computers. If you have a computer that's really fast already, this probably isn't going to make it any faster. All right, finally on to number 7, which is check your computer's power plan. By default, Windows will have it set to balanced, which is fine for most people. It won't limit the power of your computer, but if there's nothing really going on, then it will lower the frequency of your processor because it's not really in use, and that'll use less power. However, if you do want to ensure that you have the maximum performance all the time, then you can set it to high performance, which keeps the CPU at its max frequency all the time, which means that it could potentially increase some of the response time for running programs and that stuff, because it doesn't have to take the CPU out of a sleep state, even though it's not really going to make a huge difference, might make a little bit. But also check to make sure that your computer isn't in low power mode if you don't want it there. If you're using a laptop and you want to maximize the battery life, then yeah, you could keep it on that. But just keep in mind that the battery saver mode will lower the maximum performance of the computer to save battery. So it likely will be noticeably slower than if you had it on one of the other ones. Just keep in mind, of course, that the trade-off if you have it on high performance is that it will use more power, more battery if you're on that. But if it's a plugged-in desktop or something and you're not super concerned with power consumption, I just keep mine on high performance. So those are the 7 tips, but I do want to mention a couple myths that are out there that are not going to help you speed up the computer. The first are these registry cleaner programs. The registry is not going to slow down your computer, even if there's these unused entries that these programs claim to clear out. That's not going to make a difference. And the other one is defragmenting your hard drive, which is really old advice. Windows, for the past several versions, will defragment any hard drives in the background automatically, so you don't have to do it. And if you have an SSD, because it won't make a difference, and it could potentially lower the